All right, this here is a or fight alert rather, fight alert for Miguel Berchelt versus George Jupp. This is going to be a fight that's going to be on BN Sports Espanol. I know some of you guys have the channel. I know some of you don't. But I know that there's some of you that even if you don't, that there's ways of watching the channel as well. Not to mention the fact that I'll do a post-fight review on the fight and as usual link to the fight video once it's posted up. But I just wanted to put a fight alert out for this one because Miguel Berchelt was originally supposed to be fighting Roman Martinez for Martinez's WBO super featherweight title today. Martinez wound up pulling out because he suffered a hand injury pretty late, and now they have George Jupp of the UK filling in for him now. George Jupp is going to be filling in for him, and it's going to be for a shot at the WBO Interim title, since Martinez was supposed to make his defense against the mandated challenger Berchelt of Mexico. We got Berchelt versus Jupp. I'm really not familiar with George Jupp. He's a British fighter, obviously. I've seen a little bit of video of him since this fight basically got made, since it was announced that he was going to be the replacement. It looks like he's a pretty good stand-up boxer, pretty skilled. But I would definitely still favor Berchelt in this fight, and I was actually favoring Berchelt over Martinez to begin with. To be honest, I was gonna make a pre-fight video for that, to just alert people to be on the lookout for that, because I thought it was gonna be a sneaky fight of the year type contender. Uh, but Berchelt is a fucking puncher, man. This guy can crack. He's he's got a pretty nasty knockout ratio, 28-1 with 25 knockouts. This dude punches too. I mean, most of those knockouts were from headshots. I mean, he was like, there was I think it was against Antonio Orozco where he was fighting him. The very first fucking right hand he landed on the guy, Orozco's like the entire expression on the guy's face changed. And seeing the thing is, Orozco though is a puncher himself, so it's not like he was just gonna back down and try and and box it out. He was gonna try and knock Berchelt out before he got knocked out, and it didn't turn out too well for him because Berchelt knocked his ass out in the third round. But I mean, Berchelt is a fun fighter to watch. Really interesting. I think if and when he wins, like I think he will, and should he ever manage to get his shot at Roman Martinez, who himself may not even necessarily deserve the WBO title, because a lot of people thought, and me included, that Salido beat him last September, I think it was. Yeah, on the Mayweather Berto undercard. And Berchelt though, he'd be a great addition to the 130-pound ranks, man. Super featherweight is fast becoming the most stacked division in boxing. Big time. I mean, there's the potential of Nicholas Walters and Lomachenko being there. Walters really should be staying there because he's big even for 130, to be honest. Lomachenko, if he moves up, obviously, and then the clear number one of the division, Takashi Uchiyama, of course. He's the long-standing champion there, the most long-standing of the group. You got the wild slugger Javier Fortuna, bringing bad intentions and big power to every single matchup that he has. There was the possibility that Fortuna was supposed to be fighting Uchiyama, but it seems like they haven't managed to finalize that yet. It's supposed to be part of the WBA's plan to consolidate their fucking belts amongst all the weight classes, so that they only have one belt per weight class for for that sanctioning body anyway. A bunch of in-house unifications, basically. Um, but then you got Francisco Vargas, who just dethroned Takashi Miura. You got Takashi Miura himself, who gave Vargas absolute hell and looked like he was on his way to stop on Vargas before Vargas showed out and took him out. And then you also got let me see, who am I missing? Well, you got Salido, yeah, Orlando Salido, who really probably should be the WBO champion, kind of uncrowned, so to speak. And Salido's going to be fighting Francisco Vargas coming up. So you see, the possibility of having Vargas versus Salido, Uchiyama versus Fortuna, Miura out there, potentially in the mix, Walters versus Lomachenko. I mean, these are great fights, man. These are great, not just great fights, but great mixing and matching of any of those names is gonna produce a great fight. And I mean, when people were first talking about Walters versus Lomachenko, whoever wins that fight, at best, they're the third best fighter in the division. That's at best, and that's a fun. That's a a highly anticipated fight between two high level fighters. But I mean, it's two high level fighters from a lower weight class, so I mean, they haven't really shown out and don't necessarily deserve the props at 130 the same way these other fighters, who've been there and shown and prove what they're worth, beating good opponents like Yayo Thompson and Brian Vasquez and basically each other, as far as Miura goes, because Uchiyama and Vargas both managed to defeat him. But otherwise, man, I mean, just excellent fighters all around in 130. And for you guys that got being Sports Espanol, I'm pretty sure the boxing normally starts at about 8 p.m. if I remember correctly, like 7:30, 8 p.m. And Miguel Berchelt is the headliner, man, versus George Jupp. So we'll see if he manages to get the interim title, and then whenever Roman Martinez decides to heal, if he's able to make the weight, because the rumor is that yeah, he was having trouble making 130 in the first damn place, and he was a little bit irritated that he was fighting Berchelt in Mexico, that he didn't really want the fight to happen in the first place. Who knows? Maybe he might even move up. And I mean, hey, shit, Felix Verdejo's supposedly talking about possibly even moving down to 130 if he wanted to. But honestly, I think 130 is a tougher division than 135. So why are you gonna cut 5 more pounds that you don't necessarily need to and fight tougher opponents than what uh, what Bob can set up for you at 135? It doesn't really make as much sense to me. But regardless, I mean, I'm sure some of these guys, these top level guys at 130, will eventually move up to 135 themselves as well. That tends to be the way it goes. Most modern fighters will go up a weight class or two before it's all said and done. But I'm going all over the place now, man. That's it for this. Check it out if you get a chance, and I'll try to do a post fight review on it and put the link in the description as usual. Peace.